Let's start with what's important. Happy Friday, everyone. That's our lead. Welcome to the 4 to 5. Eric Chilton here with Lauren Coleman and Maddie Gardner.
Yeah, top story is that the weekend is in sight. No, but actually we do have plenty of news as well as weather to get to today.
Lots of big news today, so you know the drill. Grab your phone, the laptop, head over to our Facebook page, join the live stream.
All right, right now a group is protesting the new vaccine requirement at Cone Health.
The hospital announced yesterday all employees, students, and volunteers must be vaccinated starting this fall.
But Cone Health was not the only healthcare system. 5 other systems will also require these vaccines. The decision, though, is being met with some fierce opinions.
Yeah, WFMY News 2's Marissa Tansino is live at the protest in Alamance County. Marissa.
Well, guys, that decision by several hospital systems in North Carolina sparking outrage right here in the Triad. You can take a look at just some protesters outside Alamance Regional Medical Center behind me. This protest planned last minute, but still some were able to make it out to have their voices heard. We got a little bit of clarification from Cone Health earlier today about some of the deadlines they set for their employees. The requirement to get the COVID-19 vaccine goes into effect July 30th, but employees will have until October 1st to get either their second dose of a two-shot vaccine or the 1-dose Johnson & Johnson shot. They'll have to submit proof by October 8th. Cone says they're still working through exemption details now. A man we spoke with out here says his wife has worked here for almost 2 decades, and when she heard the news of the vaccine requirement, she was heartbroken.
I saw the strongest woman that I've ever met break down. People that we know had really bad side effects for the longest of times. Fearful, and it's just, we don't trust it, and we just don't want to take it.
Now, I did speak with a Cone Health employee off camera who says her main concern is the lack of full approval by the FDA. We spoke with Cone Health yesterday, who said they're going to talk with their employees and answer any questions and concerns they have.
All right, Marissa, we'll check in with you a little later. Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Greensboro police are looking for a suspect involved in an armed robbery this morning. Police responded to the Papa John's on East Cone Boulevard around 11 this morning. You can see a few officers were there as the investigation got underway. Right now, information is limited, but we know the suspect used a gun in the robbery attempt. If you know anything, call Greensboro Police. And American Airlines is betting big on travel demand remaining high. The airline will bring back more than 3,000 team members, including thousands of flight attendants this fall. American also plans to hire at least 350 more pilots this year and around 1,000 pilots next year. The airline said it will also add more flights after coming under fire for cutting back on flights because of a lack of crew members. And a new name for one Major League Baseball team, the Cleveland Indians will rebrand and now be known as the Cleveland Guardians. The team made the announcement with the help of a video narrated by actor Tom Hanks. The name change comes after 140 hours of interviews with fans, community leaders, and front office personnel. It goes into effect at the end of this 2021 season. Well, 140 hours worth of interviews look like they got a lot of feedback on this.
And it seems to be going over well. I mean, having Tom Hanks make the announcement,
that helps.
Probably a smart move by the PR folks. But I was wondering why Guardian. So I looked it up, and there is a bridge right outside of the stadium. They play in the Lorraine Carnegie Bridge, and they have these statues, Art Deco statues up in the shape of humans, and they call them the Guardians of Traffic. So that bridge was built the same year that they started playing in that stadium.
So there's some history there.
I like the name because it makes me think of Guardians of the Galaxy. And so I said, I love it.
What is it, the awesome mixtape that Star-Lord has?
Yes, I think that's very, very cool. Yeah. All right, we'll see what happens there. Let's check in with Monique. Forecast now as we head into the weekend. Everybody's curious.
Yes, weekend weather. What's it going to be like across the Triad and even along the shore? I know a lot of folks like to make their way to the coastline as we go throughout the course of the weekend. So all the details related to that, but still talking about the haze today, waking up, maybe not seeing it, at least here in the Triad, but up in the mountains, some locations have. Appalachian State, let's look at a shot there where we are seeing those cumulus clouds making their way through, as well as in Wake Forest, a little bit closer here to home. Overall, though, air quality today much different than yesterday. I'm going to step out. You can see that full graphic. Today's AQI, that quality index at 80. That's putting us in a moderate, not good, but moderate risk. So for those of you who do have any respiratory issues, make sure to still take caution as you go throughout the course of today, because we're not good just yet. Here's a look at the visibility across the Triad. Some locations really improvements, but then there's some spots, at least here in Greensboro, not so much, and Winston-Salem as well, not seeing full improvement with that haze. So the air quality forecast for the weekend keeping us moderate for tomorrow as well as on Sunday. Again, we're not good just quite yet. So if you do have any respiratory related illnesses or you're very vulnerable to them, make sure to take caution by possibly wearing a mask or keeping yourself indoors. So it's all related to these California wildfires. We've been talking about it throughout the course of this week. And as we go through the weekend, the setup does change a bit and we will see improvements, but overall still putting us in the pocket to be under a moderate risk for your weekend. So tomorrow as well as for Sunday, but I'm tracking some showers and storms, which will definitely help to improve our air quality across the entire Triad. So for tonight, we're going to be dropping down to some mild upper 60s. Some locations seeing the dew when you wake up, those dew points kind of around those same numbers. And then tomorrow heating up. But I know you see the storms. I'm going to talk about them in just a bit.
Well, more than 13,000 North Carolinians are unemployed right now, and 38,000 job openings are out there in North Carolina. Right now, the demand for workers is high, especially in the travel, hospitality, and healthcare industries. Chris Rivera with Guilford Works offers this advice for those who don't have a job right now.
Do not allow yourself to become complacent. You know, as of right now, we have a tremendous talent shortage. Some of that could be because we have some supplemental unemployment benefits that are still flowing through our system. Those benefits will end come, early September, and then the market will be inundated with individuals and or competition.
So dust off your resume and start applying. Don't wait. Guilford Works will work with both job seekers and employers to help get people back in the workforce. They can help you with your resume. They can even offer scholarships if you need additional education for a position. They'll also help you with childcare. You may have noticed some different hours of operation at the pool near your house, and that's because many pools are having to cut back hours due to staff shortages. Here's what WFMY News 2's Denise McMiller found out.
Well, you can expect pools like Balton Park Pool here to not be as active as it is right now because it will close for about an hour every day to give their staff a break. And some pools will even close for an entire day because they are short-staffed. And I'm told that this will last throughout the rest of the season. Now, the city is down more than a dozen lifeguards this year. Typically over the summer, the city of Winston-Salem has at least 65 lifeguards on duty. This year, they have about 50 to man their 7 pools. And to run Balton Pool alone, 15 lifeguards are needed. And to keep folks safe at Waterworks, about 25 lifeguards are needed. They have to close on certain days and close certain parts of the pool because they don't have enough employees. Now, the city's aquatic supervisor explains why it'll stay this way through the end of the summer.
It's been hard to recruit past since we opened because we can't run lifeguard training classes. When we can run the training classes, we got more people, and then after we couldn't run classes anymore, it was harder to recruit because they have to be certified.
The city says they couldn't recruit students at high schools or have Winston-Salem State University teach classes like they typically do because of COVID. Now, the city of Winston-Salem is already looking to recruit and to hire some lifeguards for their season next year. And in Greensboro, they currently have lifeguard positions open. You can find more information on some of these open positions on our website at WFMYnews2.com.
Back to school shopping. It can be a daunting task for parents, and with prices rising on everyday items due to inflation, school supplies may be no different this year. An organization based in Winston-Salem is helping to ease the burden on families when it comes to buying supplies for kids.
15-year-old Kendall Williams has a passion for cheer and dance, but says spreading joy to others brings her the most happiness.
I like to give back to people in need because some people don't have what I have, and I'm very blessed to be in the position I am to give back to the community.
Kendall is the founder of the Kendall Project, a nonprofit with a mission to provide school supplies to youth in Winston-Salem and the surrounding areas. Mother April Reich says her daughter came up with the idea 6 years ago.
And so she told me that, the kids didn't have, school supplies and other items that she had. And so I told her, I said, what do you want to do about it?
Since 2015, the Kindle Project has donated over 5,500 backpacks filled with over 75,000 school supply items. According to the National Retail Federation, families will spend an average of $848.90 on school supplies for the upcoming school year.
So, so most parents are saying, hey, do we put meals on the table or do we get school supplies? And so that's where we come into play at, where we give them the essential items that they need so they don't have to worry about it.
August 14th, the group is throwing the 6th annual Back to School Jam at Rupert Bell Park. They have a goal to donate 1,000 backpacks filled with supplies to children in need.
Now, the Kindle Project does do other giveaways throughout the year, but for more info on the Back to School Jam on August 14th or how you can donate to the organization, just look for this story on our website.
If you are unhappy with your life, change it. It's a simple concept that can require big action, but in today's U-Day message, Coach Lamont says it starts with believing in a better life.
One day, employees arriving for work were greeted with an unusual sign on the door. It read, "Yesterday, the person who hindered your growth passed away." They were all told to report to the company auditorium for the memorial service. One by one, each employee proceeded to the open casket to pay their respects. As each employee approached, those waiting in the line heard a loud gasp. They were astonished to see inside the coffin a mirror with a note which read, "You are the only one hindering you." My friend, the world is like a mirror constantly reflecting back to you the life you have settled for. If you are not pleased with the life you are currently living, what are you doing to change it? If you want more, you have to believe for more. Like a mirror in a coffin, bury the idea of a reflection that doesn't resemble you winning. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best U-Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
You are the only one hindering you. Those are some powerful words there from Coach Lamont. I know I'm talking about the weather, but that was some powerful words there, and I hope you guys take hold of that as you get to enjoy this weekend. Weather conditions overall shaping up to be hot and humid as we generally expect here across the Triad. But first, jumping into some system here that's brewing here off the southeastern coast there of Florida. Been keeping a close eye over the last couple of days. First started to originate there in the Mississippi, Georgia borderline, tracked its way across the southern states, and then now showing at least a 40% chance of development over the next 48 hours, really in this pocket of warm water. Just about 82 degrees Fahrenheit, that's what all these tropical systems need to really help develop, and we're seeing it right where the system is. Now, tropical depression, that's what I generally am expecting this to become, but for here at home, we're going to have to watch out for area beaches here kind of close to home. A lot of folks may be expecting to head down to the coastline for some outdoor fun this weekend, and so weather temperature looking good in terms of the forecast. The temperature is looking good, shower storm chances on the low end. However, when it comes to the rip current, so those of you who plan to actually get in the water, that's what I want to talk about here, because there is a moderate risk, rip current risk, at least for some of those east-facing beaches, not so much the south-facing beaches in North Carolina. But again, I want to keep you guys ahead of the game, especially for those of you who plan to head down to the water. So overall conditions at area beaches are looking good, and here at home, tracking some showers and storms on that 7 days, showing you on there, as well as some 90s. More details breaking it down in just a bit.
Well, you know, being around and experiencing genius firsthand, that's something most of us will never know about. But Greensboro's own Shelby J has done just that by performing with Prince for years. Now, a new podcast called The Story Behind Welcome to America takes you behind the scenes of an American musical genius. Here's part of my conversation with Shelby about the album and her career. Shelby is here. That's all I need for a Friday.
I am in the house. Hello, everybody. Hey, hometown.
Hey, listen, Shelby, tell me about this podcast. How did this idea come about?
Well, you know, we've got the new Prince album coming out, Welcome to America. It's coming out next Friday, July 30th. And we really wanted to go behind the scenes of the making of this album. And it's a 4-episode podcast talking about everything we were experiencing in 2009, 2010, making this album with Prince at Paisley Park. And we really talk about the making of this album and how special it was to Prince and how he was excited about the music we were making. It's so socially, politically, spiritually right now. You would think he wrote it last month.
Yeah, it's interesting because you are from Greensboro. Can you talk a little bit about coming from here and how you made it to where you made it to now?
Wow, God. Absolutely God, first and foremost, and loving, praying parents, you know, Mamie and Ernest, and working hard. You know, hard work works. And even though you have valleys and pitfalls and things along the way, you just never give up on your dream. And I was always singing, writing, producing. Now I'm getting into all types of things, music for film, television, just really expanding.
What about being from Greensboro? What do you think you take from this type of a smaller community whenever you go out into the big world?
I think I take, and Prince would tell me this all the time, I bring my hometown sensibility. I travel all over the world, but I am a country girl. I'm a hometown girl. And my roots are strong. I'll be frying green tomatoes tomorrow. Listen, my roots are so strong, and I take that with me wherever I go.
Well, we're all so proud of you and what you're doing. Can't wait for the podcast. That's out right now, right?
It's out right now. They can listen to it on Apple Music, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever they stream their podcast. It is amazing. I'm excited about it. And the album drops next Friday. I'm a co-writer on the album as well as a vocalist. So thank you, Prince. Thank you. And I'm super excited. So welcome to America.
We send you love, Shelby. Thank you so much.
I send you love right back. I love you guys. Bye, Greensboro. Thank you for everything.
Like truly one of the happiest, most loving people that you'll ever meet, and I'm proud to call her a friend. She is one of my favorite clips of her, if you go back and look at Prince's Super Bowl performance, when it started raining, when he played Purple Rain, she was right there on stage with him.
I think this is such a cool project because, as we know, Prince's music is timeless, and for fans of his music, this is an exciting time to hear some new things, but knowing the backstory as to how this came to be will just make us appreciate it even more.
And when I talk to Shelby J, we've done interviews with her on the past, even here on the 4 to 5, she always talks about how much of a mentor Prince was. I think someone with that star power, maybe you don't expect that. You expect them to just come in and do their job and go, but he really did nurture her career as well.
he said, or I saw on 60 Minutes they were looking into his house and the archives and all that. They said there were enough songs that he could release albums for, like, I think they said it was like 40 or 50 more years that they could keep coming out with more albums. There's so much that hasn't been heard
We'd
yet.
love that.
I know.
Our boss Kim would love it the most.
She would definitely love that.
Keeps him alive, that's for sure. All right, let's take a short break. We're coming right back. More of the 4 to 5 straight ahead.
Come chat with us on Facebook.
You know, every Friday, it's cause for celebration. We know that. Yeah, see? Hear that? It's good stuff happening right over there. There is so much good all around us, and WFMY News 2's Megan Malaris makes it her mission each week to find that and brings joy to you.
Let's start the weekend with a glass half full outlook on life. It's time to sit back, relax, and just reflect on life's many blessings. It can be very relaxing, especially after a long or challenging week. I asked you on my Facebook page, Megan Malaris News, to tell me something good, big or small, that happened in your life recently.
Christy made a new friend. After losing her job last year and not finding a new one yet, it has been a boost for her. Bonnie learned after 5 years of treatment, her oncologist said she could stop taking chemo medicine for leukemia. Marty also got a good checkup from the oncologist. Jeannie's mother turned 99 years old last Saturday and is looking amazing. Peggy's mama turned 100 on July 5th. Barbara got to spend time with her great-grandson, Xander. Linda had all 4 granddaughters at her house for a week, and they had fun. Asia got a promotion at work. Her son left for Marine Corps boot camp, and her daughter is graduating with her master's and heading into her doctorate. Rose caught her great-granddaughter, Chrislyn, in a cute moment, trying to get into her kitchen cabinet. Michelle got to practice softball with her daughter, and she's making great progress. Alicia is celebrating her great-nephew's 2nd birthday, and Wanda is thankful for each day we have on this earth.
All right, so we got to talk about what's good news for us heading into the weekend.
I'll go third.
You go third? You're trying to think of something.
Well, I'm loving all the birthdays. We had 99, 100,
Yes.
blessed years of life. I'm just looking forward to relaxing. Going to get a little pedicure this weekend.
Hey,
That's nice.
okay.
Little me day.
There you go. A you day?
A you day, yes.
You should have a you day too.
Join Lauren on that
Hey,
mission.
Coach Lamont.
I'm going to the beach for a day or so because my band's playing down there, I'm excited. That's kind of fun. I'm doing my 2 cents on that today. That it's sentimental to me because I used to go to North Myrtle and see these bands when I was younger, and then to think that we get to do that is cool for me. So
Look forward to
bucket
seeing
list.
that.
Happened to me, that's good. I love the Olympics, and the
too.
opening ceremonies were today, and I'm already just like so invested in everything that's happening. I cannot wait to see Simone Biles
Oh, I know.
break
I
so
love
many
her.
records.
I do too.
She is amazing.
They're thinking 5 golds. We'll see.
I
It'll be
just
cool.
want her to be my friend.
We're coming
That
right
too.
back. Stay there.
She followed me on Twitter once,
No.
like years ago.
And she
What?
still follows
Come
you?
to Facebook.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together like a classic combination.
Hold on for me 1 second. Gotta put my jacket back on. Had to fix my tie. Mic check Jalen. Mic check Jalen. There we go. Had to fix my clothes. How does that sound? Do we sound okay? Do we sound okay? Do we sound okay?
You know it's 5 o'clock somewhere, but it's only 4:30 here on the 4 to 5. Sorry. Thanks for joining us this Friday.
It might be 5 o'clock in the morning somewhere.
Could be.
The weekend is so close. We're going to have your weekend forecast in just a few moments.
And before we get into the news, make sure you head over to our Facebook page and join the live stream chat.
Greensboro police are still looking for whoever killed a 19-year-old. Investigators found the body of Alan Tran last night after a garbage truck driver called 911. Tran went missing earlier this week after leaving his house in Greensboro. His Dodge Charger was found on July 20th with heavy fire damage at an apartment complex off of Glendale Drive. Family members say his life was just getting started.
He just graduated high school. He just celebrated his birthday last March. We all celebrated with him. And it's just crazy. He had just bought his dream car. He had just got everything he needed.
We will hear more about Tran's life and the investigation into his death coming up tonight on WFMY News 2 at 5.
All right, turning now to COVID-19, our state's numbers really shot up in the past couple of weeks. You've heard us talk about that on this graph, showing the percentage of tests that come back positive. The latest number is 6.7%. It's the 6th day in a row that we've been above the red line. By the way, that's the state's goal of 5%. Easy to see how our trends have changed over the course of the past 2 months. Now, the left side of the graph shows a steady but kind of leveling off, but the right side shows that steady climb. Now, remember, the governor's coronavirus task force has consistently said it wants us to stay under that red line.
This week, state lawmakers proposed a bill that would dismantle the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and replace it. WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey dove into House Bill 91 and spoke with Commissioner Q. Tucker.
Yeah, Lauren, the NCHSAA has been around for 110 years now, and its future could be in jeopardy. Several North Carolina lawmakers drafted a bill that would create a new commission, and it would give elected officials more input on the oversight of high school sports. House Bill 91 proposes forming a new governing body for high school sports. It would be called the North Carolina Interscholastic Athletic Commission. There would be 17 members, 9 chosen by the governor, and the House and Senate would each choose 4. Right now, principals and other school leaders vote on the NCHSAA's members and leadership. Q. Tucker has been the commissioner since 2015. She heard the news about the bill just this week.
Needless to say, then when we woke up on Tuesday morning, there was a bill sitting out there that said that it would dismantle the NCHSAA. So to say that that was a bit of a blindside, yeah, it was.
There are a few differences from the proposed Interscholastic Athletic Commission and the current NCHSAA. The new commission would outlaw giving scholarships to student athletes. It could also no longer accept private grant money for regular season funding. And lastly, it would outlaw financial penalties for schools that break the rules. Tucker says an incident from 2 years ago could be the reason for this change.
And it started with a team being ineligible for the playoffs back in 2019 as a result of inappropriate behavior, meaning involved in a fight. And it rose to the level that the ejections eliminated them from competition. So we had some legislators to get involved and question and appeal to us to waive that rule and allow those young people to participate.
And it's crucial to remember this is still a proposal. The bill cleared the Senate Education and Finance committees, and it's yet to receive a House vote. If it passes, it would head to the Senate and then to Governor Roy Cooper. We'll let you know how that happens and what happens next.
All right, Jalen, thank you. Let's turn now to your 4 to 5 roundup this afternoon. A new study says waiting longer between COVID-19 vaccine doses could provide more protection. Researchers from the University of Oxford tested giving out the Pfizer shots during an 8-week window. The research weighed immune response in a range of 3 weeks to 10 weeks, and while the shot regimen generated a strong reaction on the shorter timeline, neutralizing antibody levels were higher on the longer end. People in Arizona are dealing with flash flooding as powerful monsoon storms moved through parts of Phoenix and Scottsdale. Forecasters measured ½ an inch of rain in just 10 minutes. It caused pretty substantial flooding along a major interstate and also prompted some water rescues. More heavy rain is expected in the next few days. And the Tokyo Summer Olympics is underway today with the opening ceremonies. As the athletes start competing, they're doing so in hot temperatures. Right now, daily highs are in the 90s. The city is trying to use misters to keep people and athletes cool. New Zealand's men's hockey team spent months sweltering in heat chambers at home to get acclimated. Now, in the past, athletes would arrive early for training in order to adapt to the climate, but that wasn't the case for the Tokyo Games because of the pandemic. Monique, we are still dealing with some pretty hot temperatures, though, here in the Triad.
Well, I've been outside throughout this 4 p.m. hour, and I can't complain, and that's because some of these clouds are kind of acting as a shield from that sunshine and not allowing us to bake. not at least to the upper 80s and 90s, at least here in Greensboro, but we're still fairly warm. You can see these shots across the Triad. As you can see on that Greensboro shot, those cumulus clouds being picked up on there. That Winston-Salem cam, not the clearest. Overall, though, conditions fairly nice, I guess you can say, across the Triad. This is a visible satellite looking from outer space down at what clouds we're starting to see, and you can see those cumulus clouds sort of popping up in the central part of the state. Now, tonight, I want you to keep your eyes to the sky, to that full buck moon, given its name not for any mysterious look, but because this is a time of year where Native Americans would attribute for buck deer to start to grow new antlers. So that's why it's given that title, full buck moon. It will be at its fullest capacity at 10:37, but you can start to look to the east around 8:41, and then definitely send in your photos here so we can showcase them. Tim can showcase them tonight and even tomorrow during the morning show. So take care, send your photo into the Near Me in the app, or text 336-379-5775, that shot of the full moon. I think in some locations, they may even see a bit of orange hints with the haze lingering in the sky. The temperature is staying in the upper 60s. Again, muggy feels and haziness. More details on that 7 days soon.
The hamburger, much like the hot dog, it is an American food for sure. But where is the birthplace of the hamburger?
I know.
You seriously know?
I think I know.
Okay,
Now
okay.
I'm getting nervous. Is it Connecticut?
No. Why would you think it's Connecticut?
Because I saw on Crown Street when I visited New Haven that there was a lunch spot, and it said birthplace of the. Maybe it was a cheeseburger.
Oh, it might. Well,
now I'm
it might have
guessing
been.
everything, including like who I am and what I do.
I was going to say Hamburg, Germany, but I have no
Well,
idea.
so a hamburger steak did start in Hamburg,
Oh,
Germany.
okay.
Well,
But
interesting.
here in America, the person and the place that is credited with it is in Seymour, Wisconsin. The story goes a 15-year-old was selling meatballs at the county fair back in the 1800s. Business was not good because it's hard to run around and eat a meatball at the county fair. So he flattened the meat and put it between two buns.
Nice.
Interesting.
All right, so here's this. You'll love this. It's according to Cooking America, Hamburger Charlie, as he was called, had a jingle that he sang. And Eric, I'm going to make you sing the jingle. So it's going to go
I
up here.
don't know the tune. All right, I'll make
come
it
on,
up.
come on.
Hamburgers, hamburgers, hamburgers hot.
Hey.
Onions in the middle and the pickles on top. Make sure lips go flip. That's the funniest
You
thing.
had me until flippity flop.
That was pretty catchy. I like that.
Flippity flop.
Isn't it? Okay. All right. It's kind of like have it your way.
But don't get crazy.
Don't get crazy. Okay, which is the best way to cook a hamburger? Well, which way is it? Your choices are broiled, pan-seared, or on the grill. What's it going to be, friends?
Go on the grill for me.
Grill, but these days I'm about the air fryer.
But
a
you put the hamburger
Yes.
in the air fryer.
It makes it perfectly juicy.
Wow.
I'm telling you, you got to try it if you have not done it.
Okay.
Okay, well, Consumer Reports has nothing
Yeah.
to do with
It is really good.
But this is what they have to say about it for right now.
We used an 80-20 mixture of ground beef because it has enough fat to keep the patties moist even when you cook them through to a safe internal temperature.
Broiling your burgers is the least messy method, but it's going to leave you with very little control unless you want to keep opening and shutting the oven door, right, to check it and test it. Testers found one side was usually mushy because you didn't get to do that as often. So the skillet method, you can easily flip or rotate your burger without having to open up a grill or an oven door. It also delivers a burger with a crisp outer layer, juicy and tender interior, but it's only for one person. So finally, many of us are thinking of summer cookouts and family and friends. A grill delivers the best burgers when you're feeding a crowd. Once on the hot grill, the patties, they cook quickly in about 3 to 4 minutes. Yes, the grill wins out.
That looks good.
I would agree.
Yeah, I think so too. I think also, it's not even just the grill, it's the smell of the grill and the anticipation of the grill that I think makes the hamburger taste so good.
And the char. I kind of like the char.
A little bit of that char
Yeah, yeah.
taste.
I like that too, and that's how I like. If you're gonna have a hot dog, you have to have it all charred too.
Crispy on the outside.
I didn't realize till I got older and got away from my family that we overcook burgers our whole lives. And then I got out and went, oh, that's how it's supposed to be.
This is how meat is supposed to be. You're not supposed to be able to throw it up against the wall.
Play hockey with it.
I don't know.
Sorry,
I know. I
friend.
want zero pink in my burger.
I know. I hear
I'm
you.
a well
hey,
done.
we're gonna continue to sing that jingle as we go to break.
Flippity flop.
Lips go flippity flop.
Sounds
The
horrible.
hamburgers and the pickles.
How do we
And
sell it? Yeah, for kicking your hiney.
Let me at him. I just looked on the web. So I just was looking because, you know, I'm questioning who I am. And it says Louis Lunch is the birthplace of the hamburger sandwich on Crown Street in New Haven, Connecticut. So I don't know. I'm just telling you what I saw.
Maybe that little kid.
I don't know what the
You know, this, what I'm about to tell you, was truly a win for the ages. Greensboro native Adam Paul had an idea. He created a show that would highlight great music and the great music venues all across our country. Never did he think that this young project would vie for an award against some of broadcasting's best. Here's part of my chat with Adam Paul of 7 Cinematics. Hey buddy, thanks for taking time out. Man, I mean, this is huge, and I'm not sure if people really understand. You know, we talk about winning Emmys here and there, but a national Emmy against the type of competition you went against is incredible. Tell me, let's set that stage for people that don't understand this process.
What? I don't even know how to explain it. I thought it was a typo, to be honest with you. You know, we you know, you work really hard. I created this project from the ground up with the help of my incredible team. And, you know, it's the little engine that could, and, you know, the nomination came up, and then the win came up, and I almost choked on a pistachio, and, you know, it could have been over right then really quickly. So there you have it.
So talk about this project, because you started, this was your baby from the ground up, and I love what you're doing with music venues and bands. Explain that to us.
We had a buddy that created Chef's Table, and you know, I knew there wasn't anything that really got into the hardcore music, and there was music that was being underserved in the singer-songwriters out there. And I also loved these classic American venues, and everyone I went into had a story. So we combined that. We combined the history of these classic American venues with, you know, truly American singer-songwriters of all genres is what this show's about.
Being from Greensboro and then coming back, I mean, that's kind of a big deal. Most people that leave and go to LAs of the world and all that, they don't usually come back to their smaller communities, but you did. Explain that.
There's no traffic. It's the number one reason. No, you know, my wife and I lived in Charleston, and, you know, we came home to Greensboro and found such a community and such a place to send our kids to school, and such a welcoming place. And I love the juxtaposition of me going out in the world and doing these crazy, wacky, nutty things and coming home and being out in my cul-de-sac and playing baseball with the kids. It's really grounding to me, and Greensboro is a special place.
So just to put this in perspective, he was up against the Macy's Day Parade. This is live events, like daytime live category. He was up against the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Parade. He was up against Christmas Day Parade on ABC. He was up against a Discovery Channel thing and CBS This Morning.
Wow.
And he said, I was like total underdog, never expected. He said, I got the nomination, and I thought, good, I could put that on a resume, but then he won.
So this is quite the win here.
Major.
Now, can you go back and watch that special now?
Ironically, it airs on our digital channel.
Oh.
It's on the Circle network, which is like 2.5. If you have an off-air antenna for us, you can get it. But you can Google Circle Network and find his. It's called American Music Spotlight. He does incredible cinematography.
That's
It's
amazing
beautiful.
work.
It's pretty cool. And he's from here. Went to Greensboro Day. How about that? All right, so I asked you on Facebook to tell me the trophy that you're most proud of in your home, big or small. Here we go. Here's what you had to say. Candy said, my award certificate for 35 years at Harris Teeter, working for a great company, allowed me to retire at age 55. Hey, that's good. Darius said, a Little League World Series trophy that I was a part of in 1990, and now my son has it in his room. Bob Campbell says, I won a media cow milking contest at the Dixie Classic Fair. Got a milk bucket trophy, big milk bucket. And John Hauser rounded up saying, my wife.
Oh, yes,
Nice.
John.
I don't think he meant trophy wife, just meant his wife is
Yeah.
his, yes, that's good.
I'll take either.
It works
That's a
either way.
great comment there.
What about you guys?
Well, I have one Emmy, so I guess that's
There you
probably
go.
my
Look
biggest,
at
yeah.
That's a huge victory. What about you?
Back in my glory days, I won a world championship for cheerleading, 2 actually, but my medals are probably my favorite.
Very cool. I did a lot of public speaking in high school, and for Future Business Leaders of America, I don't know if you've heard of it, I came in first place for the state of Virginia for public speaking.
Wow.
Category 2, got to go to California for the nationals and placed in the top 15. It was about turning your
Look at that.
dreams into reality.
Oh,
And
so
here
you like
you
to
are.
speak
Yeah.
in public? Is
Yeah.
that something you enjoy?
I do that a little bit.
We get
Might
used
have
to
to
it.
think about that.
We'll
for your
discuss.
job.
We'll see you in 2 minutes.
Hi, mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. The NBA Finals ended earlier this week with the Milwaukee Bucks winning the championship.
Chris Paul and the Phoenix Suns may not have done enough to win a title, but he did when it comes to supporting our HBCUs.
Yep, WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson shows us how he continues to support them and really what it means to their programs. Amanda?
It's no secret Chris Paul is passionate about HBCUs. He wore things like this the past few seasons and throughout the past month, representing our triad schools during the NBA Finals.
You can't pay for that type of promotion.
Triad HBCUs represented on the biggest stage.
That was huge, especially in the playoffs when all eyes are on the basketball playoffs of the NBA.
By Phoenix Suns guard, Wake Forest alum, and Winston-Salem native Chris Paul. He wore this shirt with the North Carolina A&T logo on it, landing in Milwaukee for Game 6.
He's done an unbelievable job of just trying to bring awareness to that landscape. He's done his best to definitely put the schools in the area, A&T being one of them, in the light.
And wore a Winston-Salem State sweatshirt during a press conference.
He speaks very highly of HBCUs and even more highly of us, the Rams of Winston-Salem State.
It may be just a piece of clothing to some, but not to CP3 and not to Aggies head basketball coach Will Jones and Rams head basketball coach Cleo Hill. It's their brand they love and protect.
I walk in the gym and sign John Calipari, or I'm sitting beside Coach K, and they see those logos. I want kids to be able to recognize our logo, just like those, as being a premier logo and a premier institution across the country.
It's been okay to attend an HBCU, but when somebody like Chris Paul becomes an advocate, it makes it even more that special.
CP3 says he's enrolled at both North Carolina A&T and Winston-Salem State. We'll hear from him and how much supporting HBCUs means to him coming up at 6.
Well, looking at the radar now, rain is not a concern across anywhere in the Triad. You can see the radar quiet. Temperatures in a mix of 80s for you, around the mid 80s, at least 85 there in Greensboro, but some locations slightly cooler at an 84. Those dew points reading in a mix of 60s, some locations 70s. Now the 60s, I'd take that over nearing those 70s, those dew points 70, 71, 72, sticky, and I'm not feeling it right now, but as we go through the course of the weekend, those dew points are going to be dancing around those upper 60s, near 70s. Satellite showing you what storm activity we can expect for this weekend, so I'm timing things out for your Saturday. It looks as though it's primarily going to be an afternoon event, with most of the storm and showers coming from the west, tracking eastward, making its way to the central Triad between around 7 p.m., continuing and then breaking apart once that sun sets. And then as we go through the night, staying dry overnight for your Sunday, much of the same pattern. Here's a look at that full 7-day.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Somebody left their iPad in here. 17, 18, 19, 20.
Let's sell it.
Is this you?
Hi there, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody have a good day.
Oh, that's cute that Tim says that, but does he mean it? Oklahoma, Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, California. I'm all over the darn place.
Yes. Hi there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are talking about vertical hamburgers. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
And after she moves, then you move it. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Am I good?
Hey, mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, it's time for my 2 cents, and this one is talking about beach music. It's no secret. All of you know that I've had my band now for 11 years, believe it or not. 10 years performing because the pandemic was kind of a non-year, but it means a lot to me. I grew up with this music in addition to a lot of other styles, which I absolutely love, but this one takes me back to my childhood. My brothers and sisters, who are a good bit older than me, most of my first memories in life, they were teenagers, listened to this music, so I got a piece of that all my life. I mean, you think about those groups like the Tams, who are still out there doing it, the Embers, Band of Oz, I mean, the list goes on and on. The Fantastic Shakers, the Catalinas, every part-time Party Time band was local. They were all over the place, and it is a huge part of a lot of our lives growing up in the Triad and all across North and South Carolina. If you were like me, when I was a kid, we would take those yearly trips down to Myrtle and North Myrtle, and I remember seeing those bands playing or hearing them off in the distance and just loving live music. And it's interesting to me because it is sentimental. I've done a lot of series, you've probably seen them, on the shag dancing and beach music and the history and where it all came from. And when I hear those songs by those groups, it takes me back. And if I could go back in time and tell that little kid that was sitting there watching those bands or listening to those bands, hey, one day you get to play there, I think he would light up like a Christmas tree, just like I feel going into this weekend. So my band gets to play the OD Pavilion this Sunday afternoon, and it's a dream come true for us. Life sometimes takes you full circle, and it's a good feeling. But that's just my 2 cents, and that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
The debate continues after 3 major Triad healthcare systems announced mandatory COVID-19 vaccines for all employees.
Cone Health, Navant Health, and Wake Forest Baptist Health all have the same mandate: either get vaccinated or find another place to work.
Legal experts say these hospitals are within their rights to require employees to get vaccinated, but some workers, they're still frustrated about this decision. WFMY News 2's Marissa Tansino joins us live. Marissa, you spoke with a man whose wife works for Cone Health.
Yeah, well, guys, right now I'm outside of Alamance Regional Medical Center, where a few protesters have gathered to take a stand against that announcement Cone Health made yesterday, saying that they are against a mandated COVID-19 vaccine. Cone Health made that announcement Thursday, along with several other hospital systems in our area. Cone Health said they want to make sure employees don't contract or spread the virus, a decision that comes after a rise in Delta variant cases. I spoke with an employee off camera that didn't want to be identified out of the fear that she might lose her job. She did tell me she's not against vaccines, she just doesn't want to get forced into this one before it's fully approved by the FDA. Now she's left wondering what the future holds for her. Rodney stood outside Alamance Regional Medical Center protesting for his wife, who's worked for the hospital system for nearly 2 decades. He says she was disappointed by the requirement from Cone Health.
And it's just, we don't trust it, and we just don't want to take it. If she is forced to be fired, she will not have a place to work because all of the healthcare places are beginning to do that.
Now, Cone Health says the requirement goes into effect on July 30th, but employees will have until October 1st to get the second dose of a 2-dose series or the 1-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine. They'll then have a week until October 8th to show the paperwork for it. Cone Health says they will talk with employees to answer any questions or concerns they have.
Marissa, thank you. So here is the breakdown of the deadlines for the vaccine requirements. They do not start immediately. Cone Health employees have until October 1st to get the vaccine. Navant Health workers have until September 15th, and Wake Forest Baptist will give employees until the end of October. The vaccine mandate for the 3 Triad hospital systems has you sounding off on our Facebook page. Hundreds of you are sharing your comments, and here are just a few of them. T says, anyone working in a hospital should be required to get vaccinated. If not, no job. Paul posted this: it makes sense. You want hospitals to be as clean, safe, and sterile as possible. If the staff is getting sick and contracting COVID, that makes it a hazardous environment for everyone involved. The whole point of a hospital is to get better, not get sick or worse. This is one workplace where vaccine requirements is an absolute must. Doctors, nurses, etc. went to school for this very reason, and any of them thinking the vaccine is anything less than effective is troubling. David said the very people they called heroes are now getting shafted for making a decision about their own personal health. Shaking my head. Sean says, I just can't understand why they wouldn't just wait until the vaccine is actually FDA approved. Danny said, I'm surprised it took them this long to put their foot down, especially in the medical field. People need to get vaccinated now. This has become a pandemic of the unvaccinated and the misinformed. Enough already. You also have a lot of questions about the vaccine requirement. Is it legal? Can you sue if you are fired for not getting the shot? Could these hospitals see a staff shortage because unvaccinated workers are quitting? Could patient care end up suffering? We are digging into your top questions coming up at 5:45.
I want to show you a concerning trend I'm tracking in one of our coronavirus metrics. This graph shows the percentage of tests coming back positive. The latest number at the end there, 6.7%. It's the 6th day in a row that we have been above the red line, which is the state's goal of 5%. Now, it's easy to see the two different trends in this 2-month graph. The left side shows a steady leveling off, where we were fluctuating between 1 and 4%. But the right side shows a steady climb, fluctuating between 2 and 8%.
The vaccine hesitancy we're seeing in our state is being seen all around the nation. Health experts and other leaders are calling this phase of the pandemic of the unvaccinated.
The Biden administration is purchasing 200 million Pfizer vaccine doses to be delivered between this fall and next spring. That's in case future studies show booster shots may be needed, and it includes millions of pediatric doses should the vaccine be approved for children under 12.
We want to have maximum flexibility, so this is an effort to provide us with that.
Federal officials are pushing more Americans to get vaccinated, with the highly transmissible Delta variant accounting for more than 80% of U.S. cases. Less than half of the population in 16 states have received at least one dose of a COVID vaccine.
It's the unvaccinated folks that are letting us down.
But in Los Angeles County, which is reporting its highest number of COVID cases since last winter, health officials say fully vaccinated people make up 20% of new infections.
The vast majority of those folks only experienced either no illness or very mild illness.
Despite the summer surge in COVID cases, the White House says it's not advocating for federal vaccine mandates.
That's not the role of the federal government. That is the role that institutions, private sector entities, and others may take. That certainly is appropriate.
White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki also maintains that so far there are no plans to change mask guidance for fully vaccinated adults. Several major cities, Atlanta, Boston, and Chicago, have announced school mask mandates this week.
There's just somebody laying here on the side of the road, off in the woods.
We are learning more about a bizarre murder case in Guilford County. The body of 19-year-old Alan Tran was found in Summerfield. He had been missing for days.
The Greensboro teen was last seen on Monday. His car was found burned out in Greensboro the following day.
WFMY News 2's Jenna Kurzina spoke with family members who cannot understand why anybody could do this.
Julie and Lauren, I spoke with one of Alan Tran's cousins. She says the family is still trying to wrap their head around what happened to him. They hope someone will come forward with more information.
I don't know why somebody would do this to him. We're going to get justice. We're not going to stop until we get justice.
Tran was last seen at his home in Greensboro on Monday. His car, a Dodge Charger, was found the following day with heavy fire damage at an apartment complex off of Glendale Drive. On Thursday afternoon, his body was found along the intersection of Lake Brant Road and Whitty Road. Someone called 911 saying they pulled off the side of the road and smelled something foul, then saw the body. His cousin says she hopes people remember him the way she does.
We'll always remember Alan as the sweet Alan. He never did nothing to nobody. He was always nice. He had a very good character. I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't know why somebody would do this to him.
Police say there is no suspect or anyone in custody at this time. If anyone has any information, call Greensboro Police or Crime Stoppers.
4 suspects are in custody after a 16-year-old was shot in Lexington. The Davidson County Sheriff's Office said the shooting happened Thursday afternoon on Bob Mountain Road. Investigators learned the shooting was accidental and happened while the suspects were stealing guns. The teenager was shot in the stomach and taken to the hospital. Their condition is not known at this time. And Greensboro police are searching for armed robbers. Police say the attempted robbery happened on East Cone Boulevard this morning around 11. Right now, information is limited about this incident, but if you have any information, you can submit anonymous tips to this number, 336-373-1000.
On the heels of more violence throughout the Triad, the Greensboro City Council is revisiting possibly new rules for nightlife safety. On Monday night, city leaders are holding a town hall meeting to get more feedback about a proposal to prevent violence. Some ideas on the table: metal detectors or armed security guards for some businesses. Again, this is just a proposal. You can share your thoughts at the meeting at the Barber Park Event Center. It is Monday from 3 to 5 p.m.
Taking a look outside, and really we've seen another warm and pretty humid day of weather here in the Piedmont. Of course, the haze has been the topic of conversation this week. It hasn't been as bad today compared to the last couple of afternoons. Temperature right now pretty tolerable for this time of year. We're sitting at 83 degrees. The dew point has started to come up. That means the humidity is rising a little bit. Let's talk briefly about the air quality. Right now, the air quality index is at 80. We don't use this number very often on the TV broadcast, but if it's below 50, that's good. If it's between 50 and 100, we call that moderate. That means most folks are fine, but those who are most sensitive to respiratory problems, you could have a few issues. Last couple days, though, we were in that code orange with it above 100, so it has started to come down, and I don't think it'll get any higher than it was the last couple of days. Temperatures in your neighborhoods right now generally in the upper 80s in many spots. Humidity levels, mid-60s dew points, but they're starting to creep up from where they were. I think we're going to get more and more humid as we go throughout the weekend. Start you out with your Friday night forecast in the mid-80s through about 8 o'clock, then cooling. We're still kind of muggy here with lows right around 70 degrees. The main message for tomorrow: I need you to pay attention to the radar. Again, start paying attention by around 1 in the afternoon. Keep that News 2 radar app going and refreshed, because we will have a couple downpours popping up in the afternoon.
Well, wouldn't it be nice to redecorate your home while putting cash in your pockets? Our Tanya Rivera is going to tell you how you can spice up your surroundings without breaking the bank. Next.
Hey there, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together like a classic combination. Sorry, my necklace is there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. How about if I put it up even higher so that it doesn't hit my necklace? Let's try that. So I'm going to start more here. So 3 and then 2 should show these two, right? And then, oh. We got plenty of time. Right. Yep, thanks. You need a car, new or used. There's only so many on the lot. It's not just like there's rows and rows of options anymore. Nope. And you need an appliance, let's say. Get ready to wait a month for it to come in. That's if you're lucky. And what about some new furniture? With folks being stuck at home for so long, well, the wait for new furniture is sometimes into next year. According to Market Watch, consumer intelligence company InMarket used purchase data from furniture companies to see the buying trend. Bob's Discount Furniture, which operates in 22 states across the country, saw a 56% spike in late March, which is why buyers are now turning to secondhand shops to get the furniture they're looking for.
We've seen an increase in customers looking for used items, particularly furniture and large fixture items. We've seen people come in and buying 5, 6, 7 items at a time.
Well, the good news is it's moving season and folks are constantly donating items to places like Goodwill and Habitat for Humanity Restore. So check and check often. The other bonus to buying secondhand from a thrift store, their prices are not going up.
Thrift is usually a great way to find a deal, and that's true now more than ever.
And if you're looking to make some money, especially with furniture in demand, check out what a consignment shop would pay you for the things you want to get rid of. Well, whether you're trying to make money, save money, get a better handle on money, our expert knows all about it. Janae Adams posted this on Instagram today. It really caught my eye. It says, ultimate goal, to forget that it's payday. Yes, to go from counting down to the days to payday to being just pleasantly surprised that there's more money in the bank. How do you even get there from where you are? You can ask her. She's done it. She got out of more than $50,000 in debt. So you can text your questions to her 336-379-5775.
Checking up on our forecast for today. If you remember yesterday, I almost blew it, right? I predicted a high of 88. The actual was 85. Well, today knocked the temperature back on my forecast just a little to 87. Turns out that was a good adjustment. Our actual high temperature for today right on the money at 87 degrees, and we have a 5-day accuracy streak. Going into tomorrow, the number doesn't really jump off the page. We're just at 86 degrees, but it will be humid, and I will be tracking scattered thunderstorms. We'll have that future radar for your weekend, and also take a look at what could be brewing just off the coast of Florida in the tropics. That's next. Welcome back. So as we go into the weekend, a couple of different weather changes, some good, some bad. Number one, the haze and the smoke should be decreasing. Number two, the humidity should be increasing. And number three, with that change comes a better chance of a couple of daily downpours. Now, not everybody will see them. You kind of know the drill here in summertime. Here's the weather setup. We've had high pressure in control, but going into tomorrow, that starts to shift off the coast. And you see, I've kind of drawn in a weak little warm front here for tomorrow. It's subtle, it's not major, but it could be just enough to release that cap on the atmosphere and allow some downpours to bubble up. The main timing for this would be starting at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon through about 7 o'clock in the evening. They're scattered, but some of them could be quite heavy. Going into Sunday, more likely than not to be dry where you live, and we'll be watching this cold front get a little bit closer by Monday of next week, and that'll really increase our chance of storms. Here's a look at your future radar for Saturday. Notice tomorrow afternoon around 4 and 5 o'clock, some downpours really could be packing a punch. The best chance for those I would expect to be in the foothills, then moving toward the Triad by the early evening hours. So keep an eye on that. Sunday has a better chance to be dry. Rain chances, 40% shot of getting wet tomorrow, 20% shot of getting wet Sunday. Both days are warm and humid. It is summer weather for sure. And speaking of the humidity, we're going to keep that around all the way through the next 7 days. So no really escaping the summer-like feel. Quickly, I did want to let you know about this system just off the coast of Florida here. A little bit of a low pressure area. There is a decent shot it could become a tropical depression or a tropical storm in the next couple of days. The good news is I just don't see any immediate threat to North Carolina from that tropical system. Full moon tonight, by the way. Take a look at it, snap some pictures, send them in. We'll show them on the 11 o'clock show. 7-day forecast keeps us, well, pretty hot and muggy most of these days, but nothing out of the ordinary for July as we go into next week.
Cleveland's Major League Baseball team is changing its name. The team will be called the Guardians at the end of this baseball season. They've been the Indians since 1915. This decision comes after months of discussions to drop logos and names considered racist. Team owner Paul Dolan said last summer's unrest sparked by the death of George Floyd was an impetus to change the name. The new name is inspired by sculptures near the ballpark known as the Traffic Guardians.
The 2020 Tokyo Summer Olympics opened today after much anticipation. The games opened without spectators as the host nation sees a rise in COVID-19 cases. Japanese tennis star Naomi Osaka received the Olympic flame from a torch relayed through the stadium and lit the Olympic cauldron. Mostly masked athletes waved to empty stands during the opening, and organizers held a moment of silence for those who have died during the pandemic.
A special moment for a Greensboro girl. She is turning 9 tomorrow, but today, see how she celebrated a major milestone after years of battling cancer. That's next. Now this is going to be a big reason to smile. A Greensboro girl has so many reasons to celebrate. Today, her birthday wish came true. Look at that cutie. You know there is a big smile underneath that mask. That is 8-year-old Hannah Close, ringing the bell at Brenner Children's Hospital, ending her 3-year cancer battle with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Hannah couldn't have a large group with her as she rang the bell because of COVID-19 restrictions at the hospital, but she was able to share the experience with her family and also her friends at school, showing the whole event on the school's website. Hannah started her treatment with the goal to be cancer-free by her 9th birthday, which happens to be tomorrow. So congratulations to Hannah. Way to go. Glad to see that you were doing so very well.
That's your Feel Good Friday story right there,
No
for
kidding.
sure.
This is the reason. This is the way how you want to start the weekend, seeing stories like this.
Very inspiring, you know, to be so young and go through something like that. And you just saw how happy she was in the video, dancing, everything. It really just makes you feel good inside.
Yes, she goes to St. Pius in Greensboro. So glad that they were able to share this with everyone and the staff and the students, because you know that they would love to be there to show their support, but they were there virtually.
Yeah, and even a couple months ago or a year ago or something, there wouldn't have been able to be that many people in the hospital. So it's good things have gotten a little bit better, but just goes to remind you that a lot of folks, apart from COVID-19, we still have everything else out in the community, right? Cancer, everything else that we have to keep our minds on, and happy to see one getting a positive outcome.
Right, and we have been following Hannah's journey for the last several years. You can also go to our website and you can see all the updates about her, and this is yet another one. Look at that. She is cancer-free now, ringing the bell. Tomorrow, number 9.
Happy birthday to you.
Positive attitude. Keep that up.
More reasons to smile. We'll be right back.
They're going to lose anyway. All right, Janae, tell me what's the best thing you ate from that Instagram story I saw.
It would have to be the Christmas in July Sunday. It was absolutely delicious.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so we're going to start off, and we've got colleges and student loans. So we All right, so as we return more to normal-ish, people are out and about shopping, dining at their favorite places. You're going to want to have your finances ordered to make sure you have some breathing room to keep enjoying your favorite places. Money expert Janae Adams joins us to Wants to Know today to talk about debt and money. She is taking your questions. Now, this is how you get your questions to her. You text those questions. The number is 336-379-5775. Make sure that you text us and don't call us because this is a text only line. All right, first and foremost, some of the things that are making headlines right now that you want to talk about are student loans.
Yes, definitely. Student loans, a couple of companies are backing out of the federal government student loans. So what that means for you, if you have student loans through those companies, you really need to pay attention more than likely because things could start to get a little bit out of control if you are in those student loan forgiveness programs. You want to make sure that you're staying on track with the new program the federal government puts you in.
All right, and so there's also colleges around the country are forgiving some student loans by the millions. So how is that working and how do you know? Because I know we get emails and calls all the time saying, hey, someone called and said that they were going to forgive my loan. Is this real or not?
Yeah, so those are usually not real, but the ones from your actual institution, and it's for current students because they're trying to clear those balances so those students can sign up for the fall and be able to take classes once again. Even my alma mater, South Carolina State University, forgave last week $10 million for 2,500 students, and other institutions are following suit. They're using those stimulus funds that they received from the stimulus package to forgive those student loans. So it's a great use of the money.
All right, so if someone is watching right now and they have a student loan or they know someone who has a student loan, what would you suggest they do? Should they call that institution and see if their loan applies?
Yeah, so if they are in school at the college, in an institution, they should reach out to their financial aid department or the student affairs department to see if there's still some stimulus fund money available as an emergency grant to be able to get that money. So if they needed to go back to school, they can.
Okay. All right, let's talk about that child tax credit because the first payment went out just this month. We're going to get a second payment coming up in August.
Yes, so it did just drop on the 15th, and it will drop every 15th through December. And depending on what your income is and the age of your child, you either receive $250 per child or $300 per child in a check or a direct deposit. So if you're somebody who wants to opt out of that, you now have to do it right now because once it gets 2 days before the 15th, it's too late.
That's right. You can opt out just once and it will cover you for the entire time. Or you can opt out as it goes through, like maybe you want to get the first 3 payments, but then you don't want to get the last 3 payments. You can do that as well. The second advanced child tax credit payment actually comes out on the 13th this time because the 15th is a Sunday. So, but everything else is the 15th. So I know a lot of folks are kind of like, should I opt out? Should I wait until I get that big tax credit at the end of the year?
And everybody is different. I've had plenty of phone calls about the child tax credit, and everybody's asking me, should I just wait, Janae? And I tell them, if you need the money now, go ahead and take it because you have to buy school clothing. You have to just get ready for the next year. If you can wait and you want to, then that is fine. You can wait till you file your taxes on next year and get the whole thing at one time.
All right. So this person says, I'm having problems learning how to save money. Can you give me some advice? I get paid twice a month and I have nothing left in savings.
So I would definitely tell them to find out what they're exactly spending because that is very normal for people to say, I make this amount of money, but I'm not having anything at the end of the month. Do what I call a 2-week expense tracking. You start on the 1st of the month or the 15th and track every penny that comes out of your household for those 2 weeks. And you'll get a better idea where your money is going. And then once that happens, you can cut out or cut back some things so you have more money to save.
Okay, and so when you look at that and you figure out where you're spending some money, it's easy to see if, yeah, I'm spending it at the vending machine at work or I'm spending it at Starbucks. But if you're really just spending it on bills, then your next thing is to then what? Figure out how to make those bills lower?
Definitely, to be able to cut out or cut back on those bills. So being able to turn off lights more to save on energy, pushing up your thermostat, cutting that water off, making sure your children are in the house cutting the water off. And streaming services, a lot of times the average number of streaming services is 3 or 4. So let's cut down to 2 or 1, and that'll save you probably $20 or $30, maybe even $40 a month. that you can put towards saving. Every little bit counts.
Every little bit counts. This person says, what percentage of a 17-year-old's paycheck should go into savings? I want her to learn financial responsibility.
Yeah, so if that 17-year-old is pretty dependent on you take care of everything else, they can be pretty aggressive with their savings, and they can, the usual is 10% for the rest of us. But for young people, I like to say 20 or 30% because they already have a roof over their head, food on the table, clothes on their back provided by somebody else. This is the time that they can be aggressive with their savings.
Okay, we're continuing to take your text questions. The number there at the bottom of the screen. We've got one more segment left with Janae Adams. We'll be right back.
Hopefully my iPad is in the studio. I hear you, T. Brown. It's Friday, 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 Friday is a great day to be here.
Want your question answered? You've got to send a text message. Take out your cell phone and type out your question. Then send it to 336-379-5775. Don't call. You must send a text message if you want your question answered.
Well, welcome back to 2 Wants to Know. Money expert Janae Adams is answering your questions about getting debt under control, stretching your dollar as far as it can go. You can continue to text those questions. All right, so here's what we have right now in the queue. This person says, what was the number one thing that helped you get out of debt? And remind people how much debt you got out of so that they'll know. This person also says, I've not purchased your book yet. Does it have a workbook like a step-by-step in the book?
And so I paid off $50,000 of debt in 2 years, and it was solely based on mindset. A lot of people don't like to hear that answer, but unless you have goals and dreams in front of you, your why, it's hard to do the how. And as far as the step by step, I don't have a workbook, but the book takes you step by step of what we did. It's not just motivational, inspirational. It's a step by step what you need to do in order to pay off any kind of debt that you have.
All right, and part of that really was, I mean, it took 2 years, so this was not a get out of debt really quick thing.
Not at all. No, it was hard work.
It was hard work. I mean, you guys, you did not eat out for 2 years. And I know I've heard you say most people can't do that, but what they can do is what?
What they can do is just take it one step at a time. They can't go as hard as we did, but just understand that whatever your pace that you want to go is the amount of time it'll take. So maybe it won't take 2 years, maybe it'll take 3 or 5 years, but you'll definitely get there.
Is it something that you think that it needs to be written down somewhere where you can see it and you can see that you're chipping away at it here and there?
And it just depends on the person. When you can see that it's going down each and every month. I'm doing that now with my mortgage. It makes you feel a lot better. It makes you want to find more money.
Yeah. All right. So this person says, my FICO score reflects combined credit lines with my spouse, but for some reason it only reflects my income, which makes it a low score. What can I do?
If I was this person, I would definitely call the 3 credit bureaus and let them know what the issue is so that they can start making those changes for you. It is something definitely you can do on your own. It might take some time, it might take some effort and some patience, but you definitely can take the time to call all 3 bureaus and fix that for yourself.
This person says, can I opt out for just one child for the tax credit, or is it all or nothing?
Unfortunately, it's all or nothing. It's already a new thing for the IRS, and to be able to split children up and ask them to do that is probably going to be too hard at this point.
Right. Some of us just want our tax refund back, right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So this person is asking, how can I change my banking information before the next tax credit payment? And that's the portal that the IRS has.
Yeah, so they can go to the portal on the IRS and get that done immediately because it's very backed up right now on all fronts with the IRS. And so if I were you, I would try to keep it the same if you could, but if you can't, get it done ASAP, like by Monday.
Yeah, and the portal that is going to allow you to change your income, your marital status, how many dependents you have, that's not up and running yet. They say that's going to come up in late summer, so we're looking at late August, maybe September, folks, for that one. All right, this person says, what can I do to pay down my student loan debt?
Well, definitely this is the time to do that because it's on a pause through September 30th, and they're thinking about extending that as well. So seeing what money that you have at the end of each month, I don't care if it's $20, $50, add that to the principal, and that's going to make it come down a lot faster. That's what we did when we were paying off the $50,000 of debt. That was our strategy. Find extra money, sell things, cut things back, throw it all at that student loan at the principal and pay it down right now because the interest doesn't matter.
All right, this person says, how does a single person with a minimum wage job save? I have $30,000 in debt.
Yeah, so that is definitely a big hill to climb. One of the things is just take it one day at a time. Look at what your debts are and list them out from smallest to largest and start to put money towards that. You also may have to get more income if you're making minimum wage. A website to look at is Rat Race Rebellion. Rat Race Rebellion is a part-time job, but it's a work from home job that pays $10 to $25 an hour. So it's even more than you're making right now to be able to save some money.
Rat Race Rebellion. All right. And someone just asked, what is the name of your book?
The name of my book is The Money Attractor. Everyone's Guide to Winning with Money so they can live their dreams. And it's on Amazon. The Money Attractor.
The Money Attraction. All right. And that is Janae Adams, who was our expert for today. We want to make sure that you have all of this on the website. It's going to be in the Two Wants to Know section. We're putting both of these segments there so that you can find the answers to your questions and also so that you can also have Janae Adams as one of your resources.
Healthcare systems in the triad mandating COVID vaccines for all workers. Now some are upset about the decision, saying it's not right, but is it allowed? We're digging deeper into employer and employee rights next. 6 healthcare systems in the area will require all staff to get vaccinated, and it has you still talking. 3 of those systems are right here in the Triad. That's Cone Health, Wake Forest Baptist Health, and Novant Health. And those systems are within their rights, and they're not the first in the nation to do this. For the next 10 minutes, we are digging deeper into what employers and employees are allowed to do when it comes to getting the COVID vaccine. We're also going to hear from people in other states who got vaccinated just so they could keep their jobs. A small group of protesters gathered this afternoon speaking up against Cone Health's decision to require its employees to get the vaccine. One issue some are worried about is that the vaccine does not have full FDA approval. Remember, it's only authorized for emergency use by the FDA right now. But employers are still cleared to require the vaccine. Let's connect the dots. Some employees have already started pushing back after their companies demanded they get vaccinated. First responders in New Mexico have filed a lawsuit after the county mandated vaccines. But requiring workers to get vaccinated is not new, and many legal experts say it is already established that employers are within their rights to require workers to get an FDA-approved vaccination. But that FDA approval is what's causing the problem with the coronavirus vaccines. None of them have full FDA approval. Right now, they only have emergency use approval. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission has released guidance saying employees can require vaccination despite that distinction. But it does say that they must accommodate medical conditions and religious beliefs. Legal experts say the guidance from EEOC won't stop the lawsuit. They anticipate this issue will be debated and litigated for years. Meanwhile, health experts recommend employers explain to workers the importance of getting the vaccine before laying down any mandates. This issue has raised a lot of concerns, like this one from a viewer named Sean McGinnis, who wrote on our Facebook page, "I just can't understand why they wouldn't just wait until the vaccine is actually FDA approved." Now remember, the FDA granted Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson emergency use authorization to use their vaccines, and that is different than receiving full FDA approval. This argument of the authorization versus approval is just one factor that health leaders believe is causing the new wave of vaccine hesitancy. Dr. David Priest with Novant says he hopes more people will get vaccinated when the approval is made.
I'm hopeful that a couple things, well, one thing will drive more vaccine, and that is full FDA approval. So we're hopeful that the FDA will, in late July, early August, fully approve the Pfizer product and then move to the other products. I think there is a segment of the population who's unvaccinated that's waiting for that full FDA approval. So I'm hopeful when that happens, some more people will get vaccinated.
Dr. Priest said the FDA may also be waiting on additional data regarding the vaccine's effect on people who are immunocompromised. He added other vaccines have been approved in the past without similar data. The FDA approval is just one of the many questions you have asked us about. WFMY News 2's Alma McCarty is answering the top 5 questions that you're asking.
The first question is why? Why are several hospital systems doing this right now? Well, 2 reasons. The vaccination requirement for all employees follows the recommendation of the North Carolina Healthcare Association and comes as the Delta variant continues to rapidly spread.
We don't want to lose a staff member, and then we don't want to give this infection to anyone who comes to us for care.
Another top question. Is this legal?
It's totally legal.
Nicole Patino, a Greensboro labor and employment lawyer, says employers are well within their rights to make such a call.
All employers can require the vaccine. No employer is required to have their employees take the vaccine.
Plus, it's not uncommon for a hospital system to require vaccinations even before COVID-19, as Cone Health CEO Mary Jo Cagle explains.
We require vaccinations for the flu. We require vaccinations for measles, mumps, hepatitis. So this is not a new position. It's just a new vaccine.
A third question. So what are the exemptions?
So there are 2 exceptions to vaccinations. If you have a disability that would prevent you from receiving the vaccination, or if you have a sincerely held religious belief that would prevent you from receiving the vaccination, then you would ask the employer for a reasonable accommodation.
They ultimately won't have a job here if they don't get vaccinated, and it's not for medical or religious reasons.
Next, can former employees sue after being let go? Patino explains it all goes back to those exemptions.
Only if they were denied a reasonable accommodation due to a disability or a sincerely held religious belief.
Finally, whether it's these hospitals or your employer, can they ask employees for proof of vaccination?
So yes, they absolutely can.
You also have concerns about hospitals being short-staffed if workers quit because of the vaccine requirement. Well, Cone Health says they don't anticipate a high rate of departure, and they do have plans to ensure adequate staffing if some employees decide to leave.
An ICU doctor with Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center is sharing his frustrations as COVID hospitalizations are going back up. Dr. Ashish Khanna says most of his current coronavirus patients are not vaccinated. He says what's different now is that many of his patients are younger, in their 20s and 30s.
No reason that anyone should ever be dying a painful and lonely death from COVID when there is an opportunity to save yourself and save your family.
46% of North Carolinians are now fully vaccinated. Dr. Khanna worries more people will end up in his care in the hospital if more people do not get vaccinated. Our healthcare systems are not the first in the nation to require COVID vaccines. Recently, a Texas federal court agreed with a Houston hospital that was requiring workers to get vaccinated or lose their jobs. As this mandate starts to gain traction, job seekers outside of Texas healthcare systems are making the decision to get their vaccines for the sake of keeping their jobs.
It's not like a normal vaccine. I'm totally against it, but I'm doing it out of economic necessity.
Today, Eric is upset. He's looking for a job and afraid he won't get one without the vaccine. So he came to NRG and reluctantly got one.
It's what I got to do to survive and put a roof over my head.
He's more afraid of the mRNA vaccine than the virus that's killed some 600,000 Americans.
This has not been officially passed, cleared by the FDA. It's gotten emergency use authorization.
Daryl Wash got his first vaccine today, too.
I'm scared, I'm not gonna lie.
He's nervous about the side effects.
It's hard for me to deal with. Like right now, I'm having anxiety.
But he's also afraid of COVID-19. He has congestive heart failure and knows he's high risk. For Daryl, his choice boiled down to what he's less afraid of. The surging Delta variant helped.
Getting the shot is scary, but it's even more scary with, catching that virus.
His wife, Antoinette, a teacher, got her first shot last week.
But the thing that pushed me over was working in summer school this summer and being an educator and working around so many kids with no mask. And then every day just wondering if I caught something and will I bring it home to my husband.
If you are on the fence about getting a vaccine, experts say you should talk to someone you trust. The data is out there, and remember, the vaccine does not prevent you from getting the virus completely. There is still a small chance that you could get the virus, but your symptoms could be milder. Thanks for watching. WFMY News 2 at 6 is next.
Hello, 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7.
Hi there. Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont.
Hi there, Brett. 1 2 3 4 5. My microphone is on. That's 2 days in a row.
Cookie cake.
Cookie cake.
Hi, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check. Cool.
For some reason, mic check 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3, and then.
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5.
We are on top of developing news on WFMY News 2 at 6. Police say they have arrested the man who shot a Greensboro